In fact, unless close family members, loved ones, or you yourself are affected by the condition, then you may have never come across it. But while these markings are only apparent on a small percentage of the population, they're more common than you may think, and as you might have guessed, they're entirely natural and are present from birth. The number of people with these holes varies from country to country, however. In the US and UK, for example, less than 1% of the population is observed to have this condition. In Asia and some African nations, though, this total may be as high as 10%. And these mysterious holes are scientifically known as preauricle sinuses or congenital auricle fistulas. They go by many other names, though. For instance, you may have heard them referred to as ear pits or guess-wine holes. Furthermore, these strange birth defects were first noted some 150 years ago. Indeed, the earliest recorded description of the congenital malformation was made in 1864 by a scientist named Van Housinger. And while the majority of cases of preauricle sinuses are unilateral, meaning that they're only present in one ear, there are some cases which people have them on both. In fact, it's thought that between 25 and 50% of people with the condition have it on both ears. It's also worth noting that having a preauricle sinus is not in itself dangerous, and although there's a chance that the hole may become infected, antibiotics can usually help clear things up. Sometimes, though, an affected person may wish to have the hole removed. There's a disagreement in the medical community, however, as to whether all cases should be repaired or only those that cause issues such as infections. If it's removed, then a specialist surgeon must perform the procedure due to the proximity of the ear pit to the nerves in the face. Typically, a plastic surgeon, a head and neck specialist, or an otolaryngologist, a surgeon who specializes in ear, nose, and throat medicine, would complete the operation. Several health issues are associated with a preauricle sinus, however. For instance, it's one of the indicators of Beckwith-Weidman syndrome. This disorder increases the risk of childhood cancer in those affected by it. And while it's far rarer, there have been some cases where preauricle sinuses have been linked to branchiotorenal syndrome. Inheriting the genetic disorder can lead to children having non-functioning or missing kidneys. What's more, anomalous openings and skin tags around the ears are a noted symptom of the disease. As for when the preauricle sinuses first appear, it's in the embryonic stage of the development of a fetus, when the pharyngeal arches form. In humans and other animals, these arches will eventually make up the head and neck. But why are they even a condition in the first place? Well, scientists have come up with some extraordinary theories about why some people are affected by this peculiar malformation. In fish, for instance, the pharyngeal arches not only form the neck and head but also the gills. Evolutionary biologist Neil Shubin has therefore theorized that preauricle sinuses could in fact be an evolutionary remnant of fish gills. For now, however, this remains just a hypothesis and one that hasn't been scientifically proven. Of course, humans still carry around plenty of evolutionary quirks that aren't actually necessary for our bodies to function. The coccyx and appendix, for instance, are both genetic legacies that we've inherited from our ancestors. It doesn't seem that much of a stretch of the imagination, then, for the preauricle sinus to be a similar case of nature playing catch-up. Until we know for sure, however, the ear pit should be considered just a relatively harmless malformation. Next time you spot someone with a tiny dimple above their ear, though, you'll know exactly what it's all about. And if you sport one yourself, you can now rest easy knowing that, in most cases, it's absolutely nothing to worry about. Please share this video with your friends below.